predict too much.
Right.
And sometimes because of that, we self-destruct. So I feel like the mannequins feel like the common masses who are being talked to and been done things to, and then they take it, they don't react. And then finally, when the wrong leader has been banished, suddenly they become real people.
You know, I finally understand the film.
I did.
She's a Democrat. And Libby. Yeah, I think it's almost for interpretation, you know. But at the time, I think when we wrote it, we were just trying to be, I guess, silly and reacting to political correctness.
No, I don't mean that. I mean, I just feel it's a very meaningful film. So that's my take on it. But I wonder how you guys came with such a sophisticated film.
You know, my partner who I wrote it with, Curtis, isn't here, but he's very much of like an intellectual. He's a college professor, and at the time I think he was in Harvard getting his PhD. And so I think a lot of those kind of themes. I mean, at the end of the day, we were just trying to make each other laugh and be really silly and weird. But I think some of those ideas probably came more from him. And whenever we do these Q&As, he always gets very intellectual about it. Yeah, I think, you know, we're just kind of silly.
See, this is why Trump's in the fucking White House. Our college professors have problems.
Well, it's Frankie Raddick, you know, if any of you follow him on Facebook. He's, yeah. So I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay. I mean, come on, a Harvard professor. That's some deep, good deep.
Yeah, no, there's, I think there are some themes to it, but it wasn't, you know, at the forefront. I think really we were just trying to make a comedy.
How long did it take you?
Oh, it only took about 20 years. Yeah, it's,
No, he's not lying. We filmed for 7 years.
The actors didn't look like they aged.
No, I mean,
No, we filmed
if you
for
really
7
watch it
years.
for continuity,
On the weekend.
Yeah, one of our actors is supposed to be sitting over here with us.
You want to there?
Oh, no.
Yeah, Nathan.
That's Nathan, he plays Dwayne, the mannequin.
Woo!
Yeah, it was like off and on, and then we kind of gave up on it for a while. And I think we only filmed, I mean, I don't think we filmed the whole script. The script is like, you know.
How did it start?
It's just, how did it start?
How did it snowball? How did it start?
I think it was something like we wanted to, like I wanted to make a cult movie. And like I said, I always really liked cult movies. And I think it's kind of awesome that lately it's been playing a lot at these like video stores that are just like the last video stores around.
Yeah.
It just played up in Seattle. And I think it means a lot because I always wanted, that's where I wanted to be, like on that shelf.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it started. And I hooked up with my friend Curtis. We grew up together, went to you know, junior high school together, and he at that time I think he maybe was getting like working. He went to Berkeley and then to Harvard. He was very much into intellectual stuff or academic stuff, and I convinced him to help me write this.
And then Anne also came along.
Right, and so yeah, so we actually we filmed a lot of it, like Frankie said, and then we kind of ran out of money or interest or whatever it was. It just kind of gave up, and then. But then every once in a while, like people would ask about it, and I met this woman in New York. I was at a, just like at a barbecue, and I was talking to her and her husband, and he was a musician, and she was kind of entrepreneur type person. She had seen a cut of the movie that she really liked, and had, I said, oh yeah, you know, I kind of had already given up on it. I was like, yeah, you should do the music, and he's like, yeah, definitely. And then a couple months later, she called me up. She's like, we got all this music. I'm like, okay, who's this? And so then it just kind of snowballed. She's unfortunately she couldn't be here because she's back east, but she just had that, you know, she finally met a producer and someone who really just was like, okay, let's do this and get it done. And so.
No, I really like the music too. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she did a lot of music. Her and Tasso, her husband, they're very artistic, creative people. And I got actually I talked to my friend Jose from Spain, who I met on Craigslist when I got really desperate. Like I actually work as an editor on like trailers and stuff, but I got really lost in this whole thing, and put an ad on Craigslist, and I was like, okay, $1,000 for someone to help me figure it out. And he was like, look, I don't want your money. I do movies in Spain. You know, I just want to do something that is weird and speaks to me. And so we connected, and it was kind of awesome. He did a really good job with cutting it down. I mean, it used to be like 2.5 hours, which it feels like 2.5 hours. Credits alone, but yeah. So he helped to really kind of shape it, and he's actually gone on to do some really good work back in Spain. And we had a great screening a few years back in Madrid. He was there, and it was kind of awesome. So,
how many filmmakers do we have in house? Were you managing a filmmaker? You guys might know how hard it is to hold a cast together for 7 years. Think of the tenacity of the producer and director to keep going. I mean, 7 years, that's a long, long time. So if we can, let's have a nice round of applause for this guy.
I wish someone did it behind the scenes, because like you think this was weird, like the whole it's just, yeah, there's a lot of stories.
How do you stay young?
What's that?
How do you stay so young?
Who, me? No, I just, yeah. But yeah, it's been great. So I want to thank that, and it was like, you know, tricky too, because sometimes people die, and so then you deal with that. But
I saw the.
so I don't mean to be like really. Some of the older characters.
Yeah.
And so it's great to see them actually on the show. You know, like Agatha, who was really kind of steals a lot of the show. She passed away, and her husband Gene, who plays one of the older guys. But
she passed away a while ago.
yeah, a while ago. I mean, that's the one thing. I mean, it's been such a long period that it's not.
Yeah.
So we started shooting this what year?
We actually started in '97.
Holy.
Oh,
So,
God.
you know, yeah.
I finished in 2012.
Yeah, or it was really quite done. We have to make a couple changes to it. Do some Botox.
You know, 6 years after we started shooting it, hey Frankie, you want to do some shots for O&D? I'm like, dude, I changed. He's like, no, it's okay. You're a homosexual, leather-clad angel from heaven, so it can be a time thing. I'm like, fuck it.
I think that adds to the rawness of the film. You know, it's very genuine instead of you know, sometimes people try too hard to do the timeline right, to get the looks right. And
Well, that's why we wanted to take 20 years. It needed to really be authentic. No, but you know what's funny? I feel like just how the times change and audiences change, maybe with the internet and YouTube and stuff, I feel like it plays better in a way now. Or like it used to be like a lot of people would leave or be angry with me about the movie or parts of it. And,
Including your family.
yeah, so anyway, maybe they're not changing, I'm not sure, but it seems like there's some more openness to it.
But then G-War came out in the G-War. You know that it's a rock band, I think.
War, yeah. People always ask me about that.
Yeah. I wonder, when did it come out? Is it in the 80s or something?
I'm not sure.
I think War is older than
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But I wonder how, if the same people see it now, what would they, is that a generation thing or?
You know, actually, I don't know.
I think now because marijuana's legal,
Ah.
I think people, I just have a question because we've been inside this film for so many years, so our perception of it is kind of skewed because we get numb to it. As an audience, I mean, what do you get out of it? Where does it take you? What is it from being shocked and offended to disgusting to her that was over there laughing a lot, that one. Except with the breast milk, that laughter stopped. I mean, as an audience, just maybe from the filmmakers, what do you get out of the film? Complete.
I mean, I'll say that was
Crickets.
it was the trip. I mean, I don't know if I was deeply offended. It takes lots to offend me, but I mean, there's definitely some moments that were just the way the comedy comes together in like the most bizarre way kind of caught me off guard, and I did enjoy that. But it's like almost like a nightmare. Yeah.
I've seen the movie like maybe 4 times, and it finally sort of makes sense this time.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes when it's played in Spain with subtitles, and I think maybe people can follow it easier. You read what people, not have to deal with some of the sound, which is great. But yeah, I guess just taking time away from it and then like looking at it again, I get surprised too, and sometimes shocked. It's definitely not the movie I bring up at like soccer games. Like, hey.
I'm just amazed how open you guys are, like 20 years ago, to start this project, you know? Because it's a consciousness that's still very current today. So for you to start it 20 years ago, you must have some foresight. So.
Yeah, I'm sure it's very a lot of foresight.
When I first read the script, I was really insulted. I mean, it offends everybody. It's just disgusting. They have niglets from heaven and babies coming out, penises, and grown kids sucking milk out of their mothers. I was like, I have to do this. Disgusting. It might be a cult classic.
I remember, Frankie showed us, we really wanted Frankie, he'd just been in Blade, and we were pretty excited to meet with Frankie, and he showed it to his agent, and I think she just like laughed and threw it back at his face. So, we rewrote it a little bit for you.
Yeah, but she wanted her 10%.
Yeah, okay.
It was
10% of zero was. No, but I would like to thank everyone who really, because people did like just come out for favors and free, and Frankie's a professional actor, and he's, he would just come out and help us no matter how ridiculous or logistically where it was. All these guys too, Richard, and John,
And because of this movie, I got a part, I don't know if anybody here knows Insane Clown Posse. They're a rap group. I got a part in it because my agent saw the movie.
Yep.
Owen beat it in
How do they
class.
find you on Snapchat? Can I find you?
From an insider,
I don't know.
Okay.
from an insider perspective, what do you think of the film? Like 20 years, you started it, and now you see it every few times already.
I see. Like, I feel like from a technical standpoint, like I would definitely change things or tweak things, and I felt like I would like it to breathe a little bit. It's like I think part of it I was like learning to be a trailer editor while I was putting this thing together, and really kind of you're always sucking the air out of moments to try to make things short. JD knows he's a trailer editor as well. But then I watched it now and I was like, sometimes I let it kind of breathe a little bit, or music's really forefront a lot. But story-wise, I mean, I don't know. It's like a nightmare, I guess, and maybe it doesn't need to make sense. I think at one point we tried really hard to make it make sense, and but I think I'm in a good place where it's just nice to let it go and have it,
No, I think it's a good place where it is. I really like this kind of film, and this one particularly stand up for me.
Thank you.
So,
No,
And it
I'm-
looks cool, like it looks so cool that you can just sort of just watch
Well, we
it.
shot it on 16mm film, like,
Did you continue to, as you go along, this one type of camera?
Yeah, well, no, I mean, with different 16mm cameras, but.
We use video too sometimes.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we did. But the old camera was, I like that.
The 16mm is a celluloid format. I know you're kind of not used to it, but there used to be an actual physical thing that you put in the camera.
Yeah, Yosh is our camera guy here, assistant, shot some of it.
Yeah,
he was like looking at all
here.
Yeah, you should come.
Come on, yo.
That's okay.
Sit on my lap, people.
But thank you, we're so touched that you screen it and that it's finding a little bit of a life recently, and so it's really, I don't know, I'm really happy. It's great that we can share it with you.
No,
So thank you all for coming and staying.
We're so happy to discover this film.
Awesome.
So thank you so
Yeah.
much
Oh,
for
thank you.
coming and